It happened yesterday at a synagogue in Poway, California, about 20 miles from San Diego.
The suspected gunman is identified as 19-year-old John of San Diego. He's a college student with no criminal record. Worshippers say he stormed into the synagogue screaming anti-Semitic slurs and started firing.
This shooting occurred during Passover celebration and ended up killing one and injuring 3 others with an AR-type weapon. The suspect has been apprehended and has confessed to being motivated by the Christchurch shooter in New Zealand. The 19-year-old white male also confessed to burning down a mosque a week prior to the shooting. But what does Meghan, my father, McCain, have to say about all this?
I do think when we're having conversations about anti-Semitism, we should be looking at the most extreme on both sides. And I would bring up Congresswoman Ilhan Omar and some of her comments that got so much attention.
According to this failed daughter, what we really should be doing after a white nationalist shoots up a synagogue and confesses to an arson in a mosque a week prior is blame Somali-born Muslim congresswoman and her criticisms of AIPAC. You know, despite the fact that the shooter admitted to being motivated by the New Zealand mosque shooter. This kind of dishonest, disgusting deflection from the same race panderers who vilify immigrants and create resentment among white Americans contributes to the likelihood of more violence happening and eliminates the possibility of finding solutions as it shifts focus elsewhere when the problem is, and has always been, white supremacy, white nationalism, and its normalcy. Attacks by white extremists are growing worldwide, and they're often connected to one another. And it's not like they're hiding it. I mean, the San Diego shooter leaked his manifesto on 8chan, just like the New Zealand shooter did. His manifesto also praised and resembled the New Zealand terrorist manifesto. They both thanked and credited 8chan for their radicalization. The other anonymous posters replying to this thread were asking for high scores and thanking the shooters for their service. And I've said this a million times already. From Anders Breivik in Norway and the Christchurch shooter in New Zealand to both synagogue shooters on each of the coasts, the sentiment is pretty clear. White extremist terror is growing. These people start off with conservative opinions and then go down the pipeline of radicalization on the internet and come out believing in repackaged fascist conspiracies like Jews are destabilizing Western civilization by forcing immigration, especially Muslim immigration for some reason, and that something must be done because our leaders are beholden to those same Jewish interests. Now, while everyone with a brain knows that that's conspiratorial madness, a less dramatic version of this sentiment is plastered on Fox News each night as a part of their regular programming. Yes, sure, they rarely ever blame the Jews explicitly or claim that this is an international conspiracy. They just say that it's George Soros' fault, but the notes they hit are identical. Immigrants are bad, despite evidence overwhelmingly disproving this position, and that the shadowy Democrats are letting them come into this country and ruin it somehow. I said this exact same thing after the New Zealand mosque shooting. These incidents aren't isolated. They don't happen as one-offs. It's not an accident that the statements made by both synagogue shooters are identical to the New Zealand mosque shooter statements, and they all happen to closely track with the Trump administration policies that vilify immigration and the daily assumptions we make about marginalized communities, specifically immigrants. White nationalism is normalized at both the institutional level and in our everyday lives because it's based on the idea, reinforced in all facets of our lives, that white people are superior and anything that challenges this concept is viewed as a threat. I'm Hasan Piker. If this outrages you, please share this video with your friends and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, to continue this conversation live, join me on my Twitch at twitch.tv/HasanAbi after 5 p.m. Pacific every day. If you'd like to help TYT, please go to tyt.com/join and join TYT membership. That's tyt.com/join. It's only $5 a month and it greatly helps us. And this has been The Breakdown.